Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I've got the Shirogorov F3 here with me. As usual, we're gonna analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this guy. But first of all, let's just do a quick size comparison up against the Chris Reeve Knives Sebenza 31. And for example, we have another Shirogorov. Let's do some colorful stuff going on. This is the Hati R. And another colorful one, it's the Gavco Thresher right over here. Nice green anodization going on. And let's pick a couple of gray guys. This is the Koenigarius. This is generation 2. Look at this handle size, kind of like the same, but the shear is packing much more cutting edge. And let's do, of course, Spyderco Para 3 and Paramilitary 2 in the mix right over there. As you can see, like, yeah, I mean, almost same length for the handle size, but look at the blade length. So very, very nice. So guys, this is the Shirogorov F3. It's like a classic. It's a beautiful piece designed by Sergei Shirogorov and made in Russia. It's not a cheap knife. This is gonna be around $800 US. This is a discontinued version, but the overall lines are gonna be the same. For example, as the newest version, this is the F3 NS. Check out if you wanna see the comparison up against that bad boy, but they're going to be very different because this is the first version they come up with. It's in G10, but the G10 is beautifully 3D machined and contoured, and you can notice these grooves that are going to be giving you a nice and grippy feel to it. It's not going to be that slippery. The overall size is 8.75 inches when open. So it's not a small knife, but it's perfect, I think, for my need. It's just in my hand. It just feels great. The lines are the classic Shirogorov lines. These are unmistakable. This is the Shirogorov lines. I mean, the Shirogorov design, it's very consistent throughout the lineup, and it's something very minimal and simple from a construction point of view and aesthetical point of view, but I'm a fan. I really like how this is put together, how this has been designed. This is a liner lock. In fact, you have a couple of scales. It's pretty symmetrical except for the clip, and you have some stone washed titanium liners which are solid and not skeletonized to do the job, to hold everything together. It's a beautiful flipper. The flipper tab right over here is one of the best designed flipper tabs in the industry. You will never get tired of flipping this guy open, and it's just a beautiful feeling. Overall, the G10 is nicely contoured and chamfered all around. On the inside, you have, look at this internal milling. It's beautiful. You don't have a single sharp edge going on, except for maybe, a little bit this one over here, but nothing too crazy. There's no jimping going on the scale, just a little bit of jimping over here, which is going to be nice, like for you to extract, pull out the knife from your pocket. So, and a little bit in the back spacer right over here, where you actually have the lanyard hole built in at the end of the back spacer, which is, by the way, a sandwich G10, blue, red, and blue, with this geared pattern milled out to give like a nice touch of blue, which is around the pivot as well. So nicely contrasted and nicely balanced overall. I like it. The lock release relief is very nicely designed. You have some indentation going on. This is milled in order for you to slide the thumb like that and disengage easily the lock bar and just close the blade. very, very nicely done. You have, of course, like a stainless steel lock face insert, which is screwed from the inside, and it's gonna basically get rid of any lock stick present to the lock with the lock. Also, you have an internal lock bar relief, which is milled out in a very, very gentle way. Like usually, you have something internal like this. Like the Sebenza, you have this seagull wings going on. So it's very evident. Look at this. It's very, very subtle. It almost doesn't exist. It's very gently arched internally, so very, very nice. You've got classic stainless steel detent ball. You have the Shirogorov screws, which are infamous because they're a proprietary screws. You could use technically like a flathead screwdriver, but it's not advised because you can mar these nicely milled out screws, because if you just slip a little bit, you're gonna ruin the overall thing. So they sell a custom pivot, a custom tool for the pivot and for the handle in order to disassemble this guy. But you can also pull that off if you use like a dime or some softer metal part in order for you not to scratch these guys. But overall, as you can see, the construction is pretty straightforward. 2 screws, pivot, handle, you pop them out and boom, and the scales comes off. You have another screw on the inside, which is gonna keep together the 2 liners through the backspacer, but you need to be really careful because this guy is sporting a set of bearings which are not caged. So be careful when you do that. Try to do it on a mat with like ridges, or in a box, in some sort of container, in order for you not to lose any bearings. Sorry. Something that I'm not really a fan of is the clip ramp over here, because I think it's a little bit too low. You can still jam like the end of your pants like inside over here, because you have an indentation on the scale, which is going to facilitate you doing that. But this is not the easiest pocket clip to use. It's still very beautifully designed and milled out. I like the actual design. The functionality is not 100%. That's my only gripe on this knife, but I like how it's scalloped and 3D machined with these nicely grooves. It's tip up only. It's not reversible. It's not ambidextrous, but it's just like that. The blade, guys, it's this is fantastic. This is a full flat grind, 3.875-inch long blade. The steel employed in this case is CPM 40CP steel. It's a carpenter steel made out of from the powder of 4040C steel. It's a really stain resistant steel. Has a very, very fine grain structure, and the performance is well above S35VN and just right a tad below M390. So it's not it's not a cheap one. The stock thickness is the classic Shirogorov with tapers down to a nice fine but still strong tip, full flat grind, perfectly symmetrical on both sides. The edge, the grind, it's perfectly executed. And if you check like the plunge grind, it's just a work of art, guys. Look at this. It is beautiful. The sharpening choil is absolutely functional right over here. It gets up to the tip of the plunge grind, so very, very nicely done. There's no jimping going on here, no thumb ramp, no spine crowning, nothing, just a plain, almost sterile looking aesthetic blade. You just have the bear right there and the steel employed right over there. So for what concerns the sound, yes, that's it, guys. I'm just gonna leave you to judge this sweet and percussive and sharp clank And when you close it, this nicely muffled and dampened thud. Guys, this is fantastic. It's a beautiful sound. You're not gonna be tired. Maybe your neighbors are gonna be, but if you keep doing this, oh, you're gonna feel joy. Trust me. Beautiful overall. Something that I'm not really also a fan of is the weight compared to the newer model, because this is like 5.1 ounces, so a little bit heavier, not like too crazy, but still heavier than the other one. But you don't have any odd spots going on, no sharp edges. There's no jimping, of course, right over here, but the grip is fantastic. You choke it up, you reverse grip, you just squeeze it, and because it's a liner, it's gonna feel like solid, like crazy. So very, very nice. And also, you know, the overall solidity is just beautiful. It's phenomenal. The texture is, guys, feels great, just like rubbing it. You know that this is the exact amount of grippiness you want from this kind of scales. Fit and finish, spot on, nothing to say. No gaps, no blade play. The only thing I said, it's the clip ramp, because it's not that long, but the clip retention is very strong. So once this guy is in your pocket, it's not gonna go anywhere. The feeling you have when deploying the blade is fantastic, is top notch. It's fast, it's reliable, there's no finger sore whatsoever. You even have, like when you do like a push button like that, you have like this area which has been milled out in order for your fingertip to rest not on a flat surface but in an indented one. So it's going to be even more comfortable and super smooth and fast. Even if this guy is running on single row bearing, you're not going to be almost able to tell it apart from the multi-row bearings. It's not true. You can still feel the difference, at least I can, but you're not going to be complaining for a second with this guy. You also have some nice kickback of the blade hitting the stop pin and wanting to drag the handle this side. You can't touch the tip of the blade. There's no rattling going on. It's really nicely well put together. The lock release, it's pretty easy to disengage, not like in a dangerous way. There's no lock stick, there's no detent ball ramp, so you're gonna have this hard step bump kind of thing, but the overall action is like this, guys. How smooth you want a knife? More than this? I don't know. Yeah. Look at this. This is insane. It's beautiful. There's the right amount of very low detent suction actually, but the right amount of guillotineness and fold and drop fold shuttiness to it, which is not like crazy fast, but it's smooth, it's dampened, and it's very, very pleasant to fidget with. I mean, overall, this guy has a very classic look, pleasant sound, top fit and finish, awesome feel in the hand. I don't know what you guys can ask more from a blade. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.